Today we're making tofu stir fry. So first, get your tofu. Alright, and chop up your tofu into cubes or rectangular pieces, however you like. In your tofu, you're going to want to use salt, pepper, and some flour. So in this case, you're just going to take a light amount of salt. First of all, spread out the tofu. You're going to take your tofu and you're just going to lightly salt it from high instead of low. You're going to take some pepper. Preferably rough, not completely grounded, but kind of rough pepper. Next, you're going to apply some flour, which again you can do high up and just kind of let it coat the tofu so when it fries, it becomes kind of crispy. So you don't have to use tofu, you can use chicken or beef or steak, whatever you prefer. I'm only using tofu because it's easy and that's all I have at home right now. Once your tofu has enough flour, you're going to want to let it sit for 5 minutes so the flour can absorb any extra water. And in the meantime, you're going to want to add oil to your pan and let it get hot. You want a shallow amount of oil, only enough to cover the pan itself. Maybe up to about half a centimeter of oil on the bottom of the pan. While the oil is getting hot, as you can see, cut up your vegetables, cut your onions into thin slices, and your bell pepper into thin slices or cubes, depending on what you prefer. I'm not going to use a lot of bell pepper, maybe only 1/4. And here's a fun trick I like to use. If you take the bell pepper, you can just break it by using the grooves instead of using a knife. And that will get you the perfect amount that you want. For me, this is all I need because I don't like bell pepper that much. And I'm going to use an entire onion because I like onions. Once you have chopped up your vegetables, which in my case I have my bell peppers really thin and short, and my onions also decently thin, but some are thicker, but I have these thin and long, and I use an entire onion and a 1/4 bell pepper. Now in a pan, you're going to want to stir fry these vegetables. So you're going to first use just a little bit of oil, and you're going to wait for the oil to heat up, and then you're going to toss your vegetables in and stir fry them. If your oil is hot, just drop some water in there and see if the oil splatters. And once you think that is ready, take your vegetables, toss them in, and you're going to slowly just cook them on high heat. I'm just going to break your onions apart a bit and let them caramelize. You're going to want to wait for your vegetables to become about half the size they were before. That is because they released a lot of their water. And then, once you think they are ready, just take them and put them to the side. By now, your oil should be heated up. I turned mine off for a little bit to cook the vegetables, but to test when your oil is hot, just drop in a couple drops of water. And once it starts to crackle, I'm going to back away. As you see, it's crackling, meaning the oil is getting hot. Like really hot. Please be careful. Now that your oil is hot, which it is, after it burned me 3 or 4 times. If you want to test and you don't want to use water, take a piece of tofu, slowly add it in. Alright, it looks good. I would add in half to most of your tofu into the oil at first, and then you can do what you want with the rest. Once you've added your tofu to the pan, this is just my personal tip. Take the oil and slightly try to coat the top of the piece of the tofu while one side is cooking. That's almost like basting when you're cooking with a steak. Except I'm not using a spoon here. Once one side of your tofu is cooked or crispy, you're going to want to try to flip the pieces over to the other side. I'm a little scared of frying, so this will take me some time. You're going to just want to flip. You're going to get one nice crispy side, and the other side is going to cook. And as you can see, I flipped them all, and this side will take a lot less time to cook. So I would probably say only around 2 minutes on high heat, and your tofu should be crispy and cooked. And then obviously you do that with the second batch or however more tofu you have left. Now that the tofu has cooked, turn off the heat so you don't burn yourself extra when you try to take them out. And just take the pieces out slowly. Let's make your stir-fry sauce. When you have dark soy sauce, and there's a lot of crackling sounds in the background because of the tofu frying. But when you have dark soy sauce, so I would recommend you add a little less. Just around maybe 2, maybe 3 tablespoons. It's a little more than I want, I'll take it out. And then you're just gonna add a bit of water, and that will get you the amount of sauce you want. You're gonna add some white vinegar. White vinegar. Okay. I'm gonna say 1 tablespoon of that. Add just a little bit of water to your soy sauce and vinegar. Add to your soy sauce, water, and vinegar bowl, you're gonna add some ginger. You're gonna add some brown sugar. This will bring the sweetness that sometimes stir fry has. I like to use two flat spoons of brown sugar. And then, optional, you can use some garlic. I am out of garlic, so use if you want to. Found some, and just crack it open. And then I would say use 2 to 3 garlic cloves. And I would say, well, you used to grate the ginger, use the same for the garlic. In the pan that you cooked your onions in, you're gonna just turn back the heat. Just give them a small stir. You see how they've gotten really soft? That's the onions being caramelized with the bell peppers. Now you're gonna add your fried tofu, which if you didn't get them crispy enough, just use an air fryer or toss them in for a second round of cooking. As you can see, they're all in there. Give them one nice short stir. And because the tofu is very dry, very crispy, it's going to quickly absorb the stir-fry sauce that you made. So just pour that all in. And as you can see, it has darkened. Then you're just gonna wait for, you're gonna basically stir it all together and let the moisture and the liquid all boil off. And then you'll have your stir-fry tofu. This should be how your tofu looks. Very dark and very well seasoned. Now you're gonna take your rice or whatever other thing you wanna eat and just take your stir fry. Be careful, it's very hot. And that right there is your stir-fry tofu. Enjoy!